What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mother Truckin' Monday. Today we're going to be, where are we heading? We're heading to Flagstaff, Arizona, Placer & Sons, carrying tools on a Phantom trailer, a little over 29,000 pounds of cargo. So without further ado, we will get moving. Now, as I said in the last video, that I had that little Oculus Rift demo set up. Oh, where the hell am I going here? Anyway, had the Oculus Rift demo set up this past Saturday. I did go to it. Unfortunately, it was only a 6-minute demo. And from my understanding, it was supposed to be, well, from what I read on the Best Buy website, it was supposed to be 30 minutes. I guess they were doing the 30-minute windows just based on the time it took to explain the Oculus Rift, what it did, what I was going to experience. Let me do the experience, take it off. They replaced the little gasket piece that went around the face mask that would sit against your face. So that was good to see, see that happen, knowing I wasn't wearing somebody else's sweaty ass face on it. But anyway, the overall experience was, I was impressed, actually. I knew it would have a good in-depth feel. You know what? Let me explain what I got to experience first. I really didn't get to play any hardcore games. I didn't hit the open road on American Truck. I didn't take off on a jet in DCS or fly to unknown worlds in Elite Dangerous. What we got to experience was the whoops, missing third. The first few minutes of it, 30-second intervals, got to experience, I think it was 6 different worlds. Now, what I mean by that, it pretty much dropped you in a world. First one was very blocky looking, like just horrible graphics. It was a deer, a little campfire. You saw like a little bird up on the branch. You had your sounds with the built-in headphones. We'll get to the headphones in a moment. So, whatever. You turn around, look 360 degrees up and down, look all the way down to your feet, whatever. In all the scenarios, you can look all around like that. Now, the next one, I don't remember the particular order, but the next one there was like a little city thing, and you were standing above the city like a giant. It was kind of a cartoonish looking city. One of the buildings were on fire. There was a helicopter, like a traffic helicopter, flying around. You got to look up at the sun, and you were kind of floating out in the clouds. It was strange looking, but it was neat because you could bend down and you could pretty much put your face like right down to the windows of houses and stuff, and really look around the city like you were just towering over it. Another one was you were on a ledge. We're on a ledge about 30 stories up, and when it kind of faded in with the scene, you didn't exactly realize you were on a ledge right away. You just noticed you were like some skyscrapers. There was a hot air balloon looking thing, a blimp, and it was very photorealistic. I mean, it didn't look like New York City. It was almost, I don't know, kind of reminded me of, I don't know, like a 1960s town. It was definitely fictional looking. It was very realistic looking. It wasn't cartoony or anything. And I heard the guy, he said, go ahead and look down. And, because at first I was looking all around. So I decided to look down and realize I was standing near a ledge. It was very, very weird because I was telling myself, this is VR. This is not real. So there's no need to, react as if it were real. But my brain, I could not tell my brain to turn off the whole, you know, looking over that ledge like, whoa, I'm way up here and I do not want to fall. It was it was very strange. Like I felt my body almost start to sway a little bit, like, oh boy, that's a long way down. Yeah, so I took a step forward and I looked down the ledge, right over the edge of it, and you could see like all the way down to the street. My brain did not want to fall, like, just period. I don't know. Let me see here if I should stop and get gas or not. See, I have. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna need gas. So that one was really neat. That was one of my favorites. Then there was another one. It kind of started you off. It started you off like in a hallway in a museum. Let me get this fuel going here. At first, it was kind of this old style museum. It was almost like this long hallway. Sunlight coming in through windows up top, and you can even see the dust particles floating around in the air. Very detailed. Let's keep this thing going back on the road here. And as I looked around, there was a T-Rex skull, like on display. I thought, okay, that's kind of neat. You know, I really couldn't go walking down the hallway. It was just a world to, you know, you could step side to side, forward, back, whatever. But it wasn't meant, you know, with like a controller or something to walk around the area. So after a few seconds went by, I'm thinking, okay, you know, is this it? You know, just seeing some dust particles in the air and looking over at a T-Rex skull. All of a sudden, I heard it coming. And as you look down the hallway, big-ass T-Rex come walking around up around the corner. And he started roaring at me. And he was walking up and checking me out and snarling and snuffling and whatever you want to call it, making all those noises and pretty much looking like he was going to eat me. And again, I know that I was in a virtual reality experience, and my brain was like, oh boy, that's a big creature I do not want to be standing in front of right now. It was very odd. And the dinosaur, he walked up very close and pretty much got in your face to face. And you could hear him like breathing and puffing. And then he opened his mouth to roar at you again to scare the crap out of you. Of course, you know, I didn't jump. Man, I really got to pay attention where I'm driving. I didn't jump or anything. But it was so much in your face, you wanted to lean back like, oh my gosh. Like, what, you know, is he going to bite my head off kind of feel? And then after he got done roaring at you, he continued walking on and he walked over you. And you could look up at the bottom of him and turn around and watch him walk away. It's really, really neat. I think there might be one that I'm forgetting about. Oh, that's right. An alien world. Faded in. You're standing in front of an alien. Definitely a Martian planet. I believe it was like icy and cold, wind blowing. You can see like little snowflakes and, you know, just kind of puffing around in the air. The alien was checking you out and, you know, looks at you all weird and kind of snarls its face up at you like, oh, you're a strange creature. He didn't talk or anything. He look off to the right of him. There's a spaceship there. Very, very neat. So yeah, the biggest ones with me was that ledge, because my brain, no matter what I told it, my brain would not accept the fact that I was not going to fall off that ledge. And the dinosaur one, just because, again, even though I didn't, my brain wanted me to lean back away from it when it got up in my face. It was weird. And I had to tell myself not to reach out with my hand and try to touch it. I wanted to touch it so bad. It just... But again, they don't have the hand controllers like the Vive yet. They're coming out later this year. Of according to the guy that was running the demo. Very nice guy, very informative. I believe his name was Aaron. It was in the Best Buy down in Annapolis, Maryland. So Aaron, if you happen to see this or know somebody that did see this and knows you, thank you. I mean, you did a very good job. You had a lot of good information. Now, as far as the overall quality of it, the Oculus, in my opinion, was light. It felt light. I expected it to be heavier. Sorry, I gotta turn the cruise up a little bit. You know, looking at it, it looks bulky. I definitely expected it to kind of weigh my face down. Now, my buddy that was with me, Eric, he got to experience the HTC Vive one day, another location down in Maryland. I wasn't available to go to it, but it was good to have him come along. He's more of a tech junkie. He's not really a huge gamer. I went down there because I'm a huge gamer. I want to see it. So now the overall quality, again, it was light. I don't know the exact specs. I did not look it up before the video. I honestly don't care if it weighs 10 ounces or 11 ounces or whatever. If you want that information, of course, look it up. The screen was very clear. Now I gotta say, it had a very, very slight screen door effect. I believe they were 1080 screens, one on each eye. The screen door effect was very minimal. I was looking for it, as well Eric was looking for it, because we like to really nitpick some of today's technology when we look at things. So, when the scene is in focus and you're actually paying attention to what's going on, you do not see the screen door effect. And when you do, very slight. Again, was not a deal breaker, was not a game breaker, was not an immersion breaker. Another thing for some people, the overall peripheral vision of it, I believe, again, don't quote me on this, I did not look up the specs, I believe is 110 degrees. So left to right, 110 degrees. Of course, your actual peripheral is more like, 180, 190-ish, somewhere around that. You don't have that in the Oculus. But what I think, let me think about how to phrase this. You can see the dark sides on the side, past that 110 degrees. But again, you had to look for it. You had to look to the edges of the screen and see that. Now, it wasn't like a movie theater screen where you saw the runoff and it was obvious where the wall started and the screen ended. I was looking for it. When I was looking all around the screen, I did notice it. Even when I looked down with my eyeballs to look down towards the bottom of the screen, I could look out just a little bit out of the nose piece. And at one point, which one part I forgot to explain after the little world demonstration, you got to do a rock climbing thing. And all you had was the Xbox 360 controller. Use the triggers as your right arm and left hand, right hand, left hand, grab the rocks. You had to look where the rocks were, look at it, hit the right hand, the correct hand, grab the rocks, climb up the side. When I looked down, I could see the Xbox controller out of it. I can see that as a good and a bad. I don't know why I got over. A good and a bad, because if you need to glance down at the keyboard real quick, you could kind of peek out of it. But at the same time, it did kind of break the immersion, because you could see reality through that little slit. Maybe the mask could have been a smidge tighter. Eric experienced the same thing. He could see just a little bit out the bottom. Enough to see the controller, I guess. So overall, the peripheral, not a game breaker. Did not break the immersion. The slight screen door did not break the immersion. Seen out the very bottom, I had to really roll my eyeballs like all the way down, almost to where like you want to look at the tip of your nose, where you're almost going cross-eyed. That's when I could see out of the bottom of it. Clarity, once I got that thing set up and adjusted right on my head, along with the representative helping me out, you know, putting it on. You slip it on. He helps get it adjusted and tightened and try to make it comfortable for you. Once all that got done, it was perfectly clear. It was an outstanding picture, honestly. Could they have stepped up the screens a little bit or made maybe a little bit more of a curved screen inside? Because we do have the technology to do it. Yeah, they probably could have. But I think it would have drove the price through the roof. Was I ready to walk out of there and spend $600 on a unit if they had one on the shelf because they were sold out and they're on back order? If I had $600 that I had absolutely no responsibilities and a mortgage to pay and kids to help raise and all that stuff, and I had nothing else better to spend it on, oh yeah, I would have walked out there in a heartbeat with that thing. But on the other side, I have plenty of other things to spend $600 on. Let alone you do need the computer, which I do have more than enough of, to run the Oculus. Now, speaking of the computers, I have the i7, the 4790K with the GTX 970. On their display model, I asked him what he was running. He said they were using the Intel, the i5. He said an i5 chip. Silly me, I was kind of excited to get going and try the thing out. I did not ask specifically what i5 he had, and he did mention it was running on the GTX 970, which is the minimum requirements of the video card to run the Oculus. And I gotta say, the thing was butter smooth. Didn't have an FPS counter, but I can guarantee you I was probably pushing 60 FPS, if not more, in some of the scenes. Smooth as butter, not one stutter, not one problem head tracking. Sometimes on track IR, speaking of head tracking, sometimes on track IR, I use it all the time. Like right now, I have track IR on. Sometimes if I look all around, or if I look into my lap and see how it jumped a little bit, it's because I looked down too far, and the little IR camera that sits on top of my 27-inch center monitor, and I say 27-inch because it's a little high. So as I look down, I put those reflectors. See that jump? I put the reflectors. It doesn't see the 3 reflectors on my hat correctly, so it doesn't know exactly what to do. Like it picks it up, it loses it, picks it up, loses it. So you get a little bit of a jump. The Oculus, you can spin around 360 degrees. Take it, it's got a cable hanging on it. But all it has is a little camera on a stand that sat on the desk. It didn't have the towers sitting way up high looking down upon you like the Vive. And it only had one camera. It tracked when I stepped forward and stepped backwards and turned around and leaned. It had 6 degrees of movement. Not once did it stutter. I honestly expected it to stutter a little bit or lose that tracking, just that hair bit that I would have noticed the jump or the stutter in the picture. And I was surprised it didn't do it. Overall, I was seriously impressed with it. Again, I'm not ready to jump on the VR bandwagon just yet. According to them, what they did have come into the store I think 2 Saturdays ago or 2 weeks ago sometime, when the Oculus released, they were sold before the store opened. So pretty much people ordered them online, said I'll pick them up at the store. They were spoken for. And pretty much ever since then, whatever they do get in or have gotten in leaves the shelf immediately. So like the guy said, Oculus is pretty much on a back order situation. So if you are looking to get your hands on them and you want to get your hands on them right now, it's not going to happen. I suggest waiting. If there's any bugs, again, I only had 6 minutes with it. 6 minutes wasn't enough for me. I wanted to experience more. I wanted to experience serious gameplay. I wanted to sit down. I wanted to take my, you know, my Viper out in Elite and go kill some shit. I wanted to take my F-15 up and go buzz some buildings and fly through there. Those kind of titles, I would buy that Oculus in a heartbeat. Some of the other stuff, nah. I don't want to watch movies in Oculus. I don't want to watch my porn in Oculus, you know, in VR. I don't want to play that little Fox game thingy that looks like Sonic's sidekick. I don't want to play that. I don't want to play games with Xbox 360 controllers. I don't want to walk around a room and bend down 45 times to take cover, and it's just, I want to sit down, I want to be surrounded by my controls and play. So hopefully I explain that the best I can. I can see myself getting into the VR bandwagon when the cost comes down. Not only for the way it looked and the way my brain was tricked, but the head tracking alone. Like, if you guys have thought about getting a Track IR because you play a lot of sim games, it's worth its weight in gold. Well, actually, it doesn't weigh that much. It's more than worth the price tag for Track IR to get that slight advantage over your opponent for head tracking, especially flight sims and dogfights. And just once you use it, you don't want to go back. And I have a feeling for the head tracking like that, the game types that I play, I would get my money's worth out of it. Though right now it's only about 3 or 4 titles that I could seriously use it for. You know what, I'm gonna take a nap here and actually probably cut the video too. It's a long trip, cut this thing in half. Maybe we'll go a little bit further up the road. You know what, gotta go this way and hit the parking spot. I mean, other than that, my experience was fantastic for the 6 minutes. I did feel that my face was getting a little warm. I guess because it was put on tight and it had that foam. Oh, look at that, good timing. And had that foam there. Eric said he didn't experience that. Ooh, just a tiny bit too far. He didn't experience, you know, the hotness. But I can tell you, when we were both done, we both had the rings around our face in 6 minutes. They weren't seriously bad. Looked like we were wearing some ski goggles. Couldn't find a job. Come on. There's tons of jobs in this world. Let's see. Let's take a look where we're at real quick. We're about halfway there. So I think maybe I'm going to complete the job to Flagstaff on the next Mother Truckin' Monday video. Just cut this thing in half. Like I said, I really want to get out there about the VR, what I thought about it. If you have $600 to burn and you do some serious gaming, by all means, I think it was worth it. If you have $600 to burn and you're smart when it comes to technology and you don't want to jump on the bandwagon of the first gen, you might want to wait a little bit just to see what happens. I think a second gen will be out next year with better screens. From what I saw, I could see myself using the Oculus longer than 1 year. And real quick to wrap it up, Eric, I did ask my buddy Eric, since he got to experience the Vive, what he thought about the differences. He said the Vive was a little heavier and the screen quality was exactly the same in his opinion. Very, very slight screen door. You had to look for it to see it. The peripheral view of it was about the same. He noticed the blank sides on both the Vive, and that was the released customer version, and the Oculus as the customer version. So yeah, I hope if you guys had any curiosity about it or questions about it, hopefully I covered them all. I don't know if I forgot any small little details. If you guys think of a question, again, 6 minutes, I'm not an expert, but if you guys think of something that you want to know about it and I forgot to mention it, ask me, and I'll think back on that experience there and give you the best answer I can. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you found it informative about the Oculus and helped you in any way possible, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Until next time, guys. Alright guys, that's my time, and remember, if you did like the video, click the like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more videos to come. And if you have time for another video, check out the one right here. As always guys, thanks for watching, and until next time.